then we'll apprise the board that we're going into discussions. Is that what you're asking for, sir?
No, I was saying if there are any meetings scheduled, let me know.
Okay, gotcha. All right. Item number 27, I move to consider approving the payment of North Magnolia Street. Is there a motion and a second? Selectman Eubanks made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Selectman Bach for the second. Selectman Eubanks, this is your motion, sir.
Yes. North Magnolia Street, for some reason, we paved a block of North Magnolia Street. A block that really wasn't even bad, to tell you the truth. That street, and the further you go from Avenue E to Johnson, it's really atrocious. You have a valley, and I know Chuck in the city workers went in and they tried to fill up as much as they could. That thing is so bad that I'm afraid that somebody's going to lose control of their vehicle coming through there. And if it's and as you know, that's a long street, and a lot of police cars, fire trucks use that street. They're at high speed sometimes, and to have that valley in the middle, if that tire gets down in that valley and throw that car, then you're going to have accidents on that road. I know there are other roads that need paving too, but that is a main thoroughfare. That is one of the longest streets we have in McComb. And so I'm asking that we, first of all, find out how much it would cost to pave that street from Avenue E, and I believe it's Johnson. It goes all the way to Johnson Street. It goes all the way from 98 to Johnson Street. Because I really, it's a thoroughfare, multitudes of houses and families that stay on there. And one of the ladies that stay there, Miss Brown, that road, she said that road hadn't even been looked at in 30-something years. That's how long she's been there. And it was bad when she got there. So over 30-something years, that road. And I don't know who went around and looked at streets. They must have stopped before they went all the way up North Magnolia, because that's just atrocious. And it's a hazard. And people are notifying us of these hazards. So, you know, you got to understand that it's our responsibility to keep these streets paved the best we can. I know we have limited funding, but some streets are just bad. And I'm asking that we find out how much it is to go from Avenue E to Johnson Street to pave that road, and not just sit there and patch it up, because those patches are going to come up when it rains. All that fill-in you put in there bubbles up and it's gone the next day. So we're going to continue to buy products, have workers go right back out there to fill in again what they just did the next day. So we're losing money with as far as workers. So I ask that we find out exactly how much it is to pave North Magnolia Street from Avenue E to Johnson, and then come back at a later time and approve, hopefully, paving.
Anybody else? Okay. McKenzie?
Are we voting on paving Magnolia Street, or are we voting on just getting a cost to pave it?
We'll have to.
The motion is to approve the paving of North Magnolia Street. That's the motion, and I'm here from Avenue E to Johnson Street. And there would be a cost involved. The motion has been to pave it. Board, I remind you that we went out and borrowed $3.2 million. We developed the plan. All the streets that we were going to pave were spelled out in that plan. The who is us. We approved, and the Public Works Director asked for input. We all had a chance to offer input into this. We're not paving all the streets in the city of McComb. You know that. That's exponentially higher. That we're covering just a piece of the streets in the city. And, this example of North Magnolia Street is exhibited all across the city with the paving. We tried to pick the spots that we could distribute paving across the city, but there are numerous streets that we got one half of we got to Delaware and didn't get to South Ave, or, you know, but, so this is time again, I would just encourage you to, you know, got a plan, stick to the plan. And, you know, when we get through with the plan, it's, you know, let's figure out where we are money-wise, and then, you know, let's figure out where we're gonna go next. And, there are, you know, I know that each of you have concerns in the ward about streets just like his, just like Selectmen Eubanks, and we should all have a chance to lobby and try to secure those monies for our area. Selectman Hill.
Thank you, Mayor. After we approved our plan, with the $3.2 million to pave the streets that we all decided to, pave, the chair of this board, which is you, Mayor, came back with 2 other streets that were not, inside that plan, just as Selectman Eubanks is asking for the street in his ward. And that your unplanned, streets were approved. Selectman Eubanks is just speaking for his ward, just as you were speaking for your city. And I think that, it shouldn't be, hindered from your words of trying to stick to a plan when you yourself did not stick to the plan. I think that, every selectman here has the right to present something to this board, whether it's you didn't exemplify any type of, commitment to our plan. So I don't think that with your leadership, you have the, authority to say that, we shouldn't, go outside the plan. I think that, once you step into, those boundaries of not doing that, Mayor, I think that every, selectman here has every right to go outside their plan. So, I actually, I'm going to support him in this matter.
All right, anything else? Selectman McKenzie.
I went over and looked at North Magnolia. From what I understand, Public Works had a plan for these concerns, and they're not finished with it. So as we said last meeting, we were going to give them a chance to address the road. You know, and I don't know that we give them a chance. We all know what the weather we've experienced in the last month, so I voted last time to table it. I'm not going to table it this time. I'm just saying we haven't given Public Works the chance to address the question.
Anything else? Vote, Selectman Brock.
What's the, those streets, Selectmen Eubank versus the streets that we paved down in Demos, what's the shape?
Oh, these are from, they're just bad. They're really bad. We have a pipe, I think Mr. Lambert said something about a pipe in the middle of the road, and we just paved across it. Paul, I don't know if it's busted up under there or what. Then on the other end, if you actually want to think about it, if you go where Mr. Noble said, there's actually a sinkhole that's beginning on that waterway through there, that's going back toward that road. So I think Mr. Parker looked at it when he was city administrator some months ago, and I don't know how far it goes back up under there. We just happen to be coming by and looking at the road when he was city administrator. And so we have to go and look at that road, because I don't know if that road gonna cave in, and it's between Avenue L and Avenue L and how's that street called? Anyway, where Mr. Noble stayed at, the street he stays on. So there's a lot of things wrong with that area over there, with that particular road. And like I said before, it's just potholed up. You got the valley, and it's just bad. And if someone gets hurt on that, you got to understand, you've been notified as a city about that road. We have a lady the other day just told me, I believe she came in and put a claim in. I think over $2,000 worth of work had to be done to her car, to her vehicle. When she hit that rut over there, messed up the undercarriage of her car. And she just happened to see me at Taco Bell and showed me the receipt where she had just got her car at the shop. So these are things that we're going to continue to have. And I understand that, you know, we got to try to find money, but just like we found that money to do Day Motors, we need to find that money to do some streets for the citizens as well. They pay taxes as well. So I ask that we get that street paid. It's just bad. So thank you.
Mayor
Selectman Brock.
Before I cast a vote, yea or nay, let me ask you something. What was your thinking in going outside the plan that we had to get those streets paved?
Well, I have just wrote myself a note. I'm gonna provide you a timeline of how this all played out concerning, you know, the 3.2 million and the paving of LaSalle Street. I don't have that in front of me now, but I'll get that and provide it to you for the next meeting. All right? Vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Nay.
Motion fails. Mayor votes nay. All right. Next item, consider approving a policy for police body cameras. I need a motion and a second.
Also move.
Selectman Eubanks made the motion, Selectman Brock for the second. Mr. Hill, Selectman Hill, sir?
So, I want to say maybe a year or two ago, we were as a board notified that the city of McComb Police Department has body cameras. And if you would, Mayor, can you call Chief McKenzie?
Chief McKenzie.
To the podium.
The pages 35 through 39, is this our policy, Selectman Hill?
This is not our policy. This is a policy that I reviewed and kind of mixed and matched it a little bit with some others, and this is what I came up with.
Okay.
Has everybody had a chance to read it?
I know that I haven't read it. I don't know about the others. I just speak for myself.
Okay.
But you have Chief McKenzie,
All right.
you have something to present?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions for him. Chief McKenzie.
Yes, sir.
How many body cameras do we have in the inventory?
Currently have 6.
We have 6.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Has any officers ever worn the cameras?
We've had some in trial status, yes, sir.
Okay. Is there any reason why we haven't moved into full effect?
Couple different reasons. One reason is I don't have enough to issue to every single officer. And us using those body cameras, we determined that the best possible use for it would be to have everyone issue their own single camera with a spare battery.
Mm-hmm.
They keep up better with them that way. They will also take better care of them that way. So that's one thing. Second reason is the data that this video camera records is such high quality that I don't have any storage room for all of that data. The in-car camera systems that we have maxed out what I currently have, and that's with us dropping old data off as time progresses. We've been talking with Sean Alford with Secure Networks about a secured cloud-based storage system. Not just something like any general person would use, but something that has redundant backup systems so that we don't lose that data. He's currently still working on that. We're all for them, but I just don't think, I can't put them in place if I don't have any place to store the data that's from it. And we've got quite a few other needs, really urgent needs, in my opinion, that are hindering me from being able to purchase either cloud space or further space on my server system.
Okay. And I'm not sure how adamant you are about the cameras. But from what you just said, it seems that you are pretty adamant. How long have we had the body cameras?
It's going to be roughly a year now.
A year now?
Give or take. We had some that were donated. I managed to squeeze one in on a small grant. I was able to squeeze another one in on just city dollars that came out of my budget. And we had full aspirations of being able to rotate those cameras from shift to shift. And really using some of those cameras, we used them for about a month. The data was just so large, and the concern that we were going to be fixing cameras on a regular basis was a problem for me. I've only got a little bit of money to buy certain things and to repair certain things. And right now, I've got in-car camera systems that we're having some issues with. We've purchased some new ones, but I still have some older ones in the fleet that we're still functioning with. We don't pay anybody to service those. We do this on our own in an effort to try to save dollars. So I've got 3 cars now that we're trying to pinpoint where the problem is so that we can either purchase the parts to fix them or send them off for repair. We've got concerns in our jail. We've got mold from past rain leaks from the roof that needs to be addressed. I can give you a long list of things that truly need to be worked on. If the board figures out a way to come up with about $25,000,
I can deck out the department with cameras and storage space, and we can put that one behind us and move right on.
So you do have a number and some documentation to back it,
Yep.
back it? Okay.
Cameras are $750 a piece. There's a docking station so that the officers come in, drop the camera device in the docking station. It automatically uploads it into a software that we currently have. It's the same software package that our in-car camera system works with. I've got a policy on my desk, already written.
Is there any reason why this hasn't been presented to the board? I mean, because we do have a fairly amount of new officers that are out protecting our citizens.
I'm
Some
only
that has-
one person, that's why.
Some that hasn't been properly, haven't been to the academy.
No, sir. You don't have anybody on the street that has not been to the academy.
Good.
The city of McComb does not do that.
Okay, there have been some instances where I've gotten phone calls from our citizens more than 3 times in the past 2 months where they didn't think that they have been to the academy. And
Everybody goes through those early stages of their career.
And I'm talking about their professionalism when conducting themselves with citizens. And
I would ask that you ask those people to call me. I can't address
they're
them.
terrified
Why? Why are they terrified?
because of the police department.
I'm a person just
I'm not
like
talking
they
about
are.
you,
That's who they gotta come to.
but when I tell them to call the police department, we go fill out a report.
No,
I
that's
can't even
not
get
what
in
I'm
touch.
asking you to do.
I'm telling you the reaction that I'm getting out of it.
You need to help me get them to understand that we're not against people. We're
I
here to
tried
help.
that, but and this is a conversation I don't want to go into in public, but I try to get them to understand it.
I can't address things without it coming to me. Y'all all know, as soon as something's brought to my attention, I do my dead level best to fix it. Not something that we have to go back and revisit later. Fix it. And I can't fix things that I don't know about.
So what I would like is Chief McKenzie, a recommendation to the board for numbers, how much it will cost for us to get this implemented, and anything else that you need inside your police department. I mean, because the police department is one of our main and probably one of our most important departments within our city.
Yes, sir.
And if you're not able to properly function and actually allow our officers to do their job because they're stressed out about other things inside the department, then we're going to be in trouble.
I agree with you.
So, can you please bring that back to us for our next board meeting?
I'll attempt to bring you a full list back, but I can't promise.
Not, mainly the body,
I can get you body cameras.
mainly the body cameras, but definitely the next thing that's in your priority.
If I may, I would suggest that the next board, whomever, some of you will be here, some may not. The city has got to look at putting some capital outlay dollars in our budgets at least for several years. We've done without working on things that, just like you said, that are detrimental to the jobs that we do. And without that, I mean, patrol cars, the jail doors, the mold, paint on walls, we got wallpaper peeling off the walls. I mean, those types of things. We all have a whole lot of wants, but we really need to start focusing on the city's needs. And those needs start in your departments. And if we can do that, the city will go a whole lot further than where we're headed right now.
Agreed.
But I've got the majority of the legwork on body cameras taken care of. It's just the dollars and cents that make it all work is where my issues been.
And could you also put a copy of the policy that you have inside my box, please, Chief?
Absolutely, sir.
All right, thank you.
It's one very similar to what Pike County Sheriff's Office uses, and we reached out to several other agencies. And my biggest concern about our policy now, and I'm still trying to work out a fine tune on, is how long you keep the data. Because you'll hear anything from 60 days to statute of limitations 5 years. There's no way that you can afford 5 years. No way in the world. So we're trying to find that happy medium with what the rest of the state is doing, and I think we're going to be in that 60 to 90 day range. We obviously will record stuff to disk, put them in with a case file and such, but as far as complaints and stuff go, they'll have a 90 day window, 60 day window, whatever you want to do.
Do we have, and this is outside of my, do we have any other expected officers to leave soon?
I've got wind that 2 are discussing retirement. It's early stages of discussion. I can't tell you that they're going to go with that or not. We've got one that I'm hoping to bring to the board that's a certified officer for the 27th agenda. We gave our entry-level test on the 8th. We've got 4 applicants that passed everything with it. We're going to conduct interviews, and I don't know if it'll be the 27th that we can get those in. I don't think I have another academy. They're non-certified. There's not another academy class coming until mid to late April, 1st of May. So I've got a little window to work with there. But trying to backfill what we're empty so that we're in preparation of those that are talking about leaving.
Okay. Chief, I really appreciate your answer.
Selectman Eubanks.
Thank you, sir.
Chief, quick question. What is our turnover rate for these new officers that's coming in? And question number 2, I'm sorry. When we send them to the academy, we pay for that, correct?
We pay for it, but it's reimbursable dollars from the state of Mississippi.
Okay. Now, once we employ them, do they stay a certain time, or are they free to go at any time they want? My concern is we're sending them to school, and then when they get back, then they all of a sudden leave.
If they leave and go to another law enforcement agency, there is a state law that allows me, City of McComb, to send the new department a bill for a prorated amount. It only includes any future training, like say the state of Mississippi refunds. We pay for ammo that they go for range day through the academy. It's cheaper than buying from me. And I think it's like $4,200 and some change is what the total cost is. The state of Mississippi, you see, returns, I think, about $3,600 of that. So, and then we just push that right back into the training budget for new officers to go with as well. But yes, sir, there is a way. Now, if they get out of law enforcement altogether, then we're not much there. If they don't go a certain period of time at the academy does not charge you. We sent 4 up there. We had 1 didn't make it past the first week. I should not get a bill for that 4th officer. Thank you. Yes,
All right, board, we have a motion and a second to approve a policy for body cameras. I think we'd be getting a little bit ahead of ourselves if we were to vote on that.
I'm gonna make a motion.
Just let me finish up. And addressing the need of body cameras, and the chief, as he has got, he's public safety, police division. He's got a long list of things that he needs. He makes these needs known to his city administrator. He's constrained by a budget that we adopt. The fire chief, the public works director, they've all got these kind of needs for capital equipment, and we don't give them the money to do that. So understand that they've got constraints, and they have to operate under, how we tell them to operate. And if we give them zero money for equipment, guess what they're going to spend? They're going to spend zero. And so, but chief, make the board aware of what you need in your department. And, it might not be a bad, just a exercise to make the board aware of what everybody's got on their mind. I know that I've heard, fire chief, he needs, oxygen tanks and pumps when officers go in the building, they're safe. And, so anyway, those kind of things are out there. Let's make the board aware. And then we'll be in budget season here before long, and we'll have to make it remind. Selectman Hill, there is a motion and second about body cameras. Do you wish to withdraw that motion?
Well, before I make my motion, Mayor, because it's at any time this board can make an amendment to the budget, the agenda, or anything to pay for whatever we need to pay for, as long as the money's there. So Chief may not have the money that he needs within his budget that was itemized in the beginning of the fiscal year, but at any time this board can make a motion to amend. So let's not miseducate the citizens about how we operate. But I would like to make a motion to.
I have a question before.
All right, Selectman Brock.
How much data do you use a month, chief?
I've got a full terabyte that.
A terabyte per month?
Yes, sir. It's slap full right now. I mean, and I've got a mirror image of that. We have a redundant backup in our system.
And we got, how many cameras does it take per shift?
You're supposed to have 6 officers per shift. So 24 uniformed officers that are meet and greet the public on a daily basis, within the scope of their job. you'll need at least 24. I would recommend that we pick up at least 3 more. That way, if you have issues with them, you've got a spare to issue out in the meantime until you get that one fixed or.
Okay, and while we're still here and you're still here, could you get us something back on this mold?
Yes, sir. Absolutely, yes.
Okay.
We've been putting that off until we got this final roof project done. There wasn't no sense in us doing anything in the jail at that point until the roof was repaired. We believe I think we got one leak after the new roof that they're coming back in to repair. And once we're assured with the next big rain that that's over and done with, I'll feel comfortable about spending the city's money on physically fixing something.
Selectman Hill, would you like to make a motion to table?
I'd like to make a motion to table item number
28,
item number 28.
is there a second?
Second.
All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion's tabled. Selectman Brock, you want to speak about elections?
Yes.
Ms. Portman, you might want to,
You mentioned a little while ago about machines. What do you mean machines?
I'm going to defer to your city clerk.
Yes, sir, we have the TSX machine that we're gonna use that the county recommended, but I got a letter yesterday from the executive committee for the Democratic Party asking for ballots, and so we're looking into their request, but I haven't got anything back yet.
Okay. TSX is what Ms. Fortenberry said, it's the equipment, and it's a provider in Jackson, Mississippi.
Yes, sir. We started out, we called the county to use machines, they having the machine got damaged, so Mr. Roger Graves referred us to the guy to the TSX, and we discussed it. And so yesterday I got a letter from the Democratic Party asking for paper ballots, so I'm inquiring about that, and we ain't got, we're still working on that. With Mr. Dow, he was the Secretary of State's office.
All right, and correct me if I'm wrong, it was my understanding that the municipal Republican Party and the Democratic Party agreed to use scannable ballots with one machine here at City Hall to count those ballots.
It's in this letter from yesterday, yes, sir. It's in this letter from yesterday. I got the letter on yesterday.
That is correct.
This was on the letter, so you can have a copy of the letter if you like. But we hadn't got it, we're working on it.
Okay.
Working on response, not on getting paper ballots.
Have any machines been ordered?
We're working on that too, sir. Right now,
Okay.
everything's dependent on this letter I got on yesterday.
Okay, if the parties agreed to use scannable paper ballots, why do we need machines?
No, that's the question we got before us right now. I got the letter on yesterday, asking for paper ballots. I'm inquiring if they have the right to do that. If they do not, we will use machines. If they have a leg to stand on, I will more than let them use for primary, but not for the general. The general would definitely be machines. But what's in the areas of primary. So when I get an answer back, I will respond to the Republican, the Democratic Party. The Republican Party, I got an agreement today for me, it's okay. But the Democratic side wants the paper ballot. And so when I get an answer back, I will respond to the chair of the Democratic Party.
Okay, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party met since January.
I got an agreement today that said they was okay with the TSX.
Ms. Parberry, please let me finish.
All right.
The Republican Party and the Democratic Party has met since January the 2nd.
I wouldn't know that.
They
I
have
got an
not.
agreement today from the Republican Party saying they're okay.
Okay, do you know who asked them?
Asked them, Martha Phillips sent me the agreement. She's the chair for the Republican Party.
She sent the agreement.
Yes, sir, today. And I'm working on the chair for the Democratic Party as well. So when I get an answer, I will respond to him in writing.
Okay, could you let me have a copy of that when you can?
You're right here. You want a copy of the letter?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you get it from Bernard?
I want a copy of what Mr. Fenton.
Oh, Mr., when we get it situated, it's not signed, I gotta read
Let me
it.
have a copy of that.
With everything done, I'll get you a copy for all the candidates and the parties. You have a
Okay,
copy.
so Mayor, the issue of machines in the precinct is not settled.
She's answered that question.
Yes, I'll respond to it.
I'm just,
No, I mean, you answered it earlier, you said we're using machines.
that's what I understood, we were using
Yes,
machines.
sir. And we are, I'm just gonna answer this letter. We may still be, I'm not saying it will be bad, but we get legal advice. If legally we have to use the paper, we will. If we don't legally have to use them, we will have machines.
Okay, and legal advice is from who?
Mr. Dowdy's working on it, and Ms. Holly Robinson for the Secretary of State's office. She's a senior attorney for the Secretary of State's office, Holly Robinson. And Mr. Wayne Dowdy. I'm
Okay.
working on that answer for Mr. Simmons.
Okay, Ms. Robinson is from the Secretary of State,
She's a senior attorney, yes, sir.
and she's giving, Mr. Dowdy, she's giving us legal advice?
Well, we're working on dissecting the ordinance that the city has, our charter, and the state combined. Because some parts of our charter, if it doesn't address in our charter, the state charter, the state ordinance stands. So we gotta dissect our charter to make sure it's not addressed here, and if it's not, we gotta go by the state ordinance.
Okay, so, well, what's being addressed in the charter, what's the issue with the charter?
Well, it says here, I have a copy of it, you can have it. It does address the 2014, when some of the, duties got changed around as far as, appointing inspectors to have a role in the election, primary and general.
Okay, now let me ask you, what does that have to do with the?
Election?
Primary.
That's what I'm telling you, it said all elections, that's why we got safety. It says all elections. It addresses 2014 primary, runoff, in general, and it says after 2014, the election expected to have right for all elections. So that word all is just in general, or does all mean primary and general?
That's
So
right.
once we get you an answer, I will address
Yes,
this,
ma'am, please,
send this
please,
letter.
read.
I will.
The primary election, Mr. Dowdy, we on the state law for what? What are we on?
Well, we don't know yet. We are under a special charter, and our special charter has this language that was adopted by this board in 2014. Be it further enacted that an election may be held in said city to provide for primary elections in the city of McComb on the first Tuesday in May 2014, and in the event a second primary should be necessary, such second primary shall be held on the third Tuesday in May, and that the general municipal election to be held in the city of McComb, Mississippi, will be hereafter held on the third Tuesday in June, beginning July 17, 2014, and every 4 years thereafter. It refers in there to primary elections and general elections. They call them both primary elections. I'm trying to get some input and knowledge from...
And I understand, and you may not have the answer, so who's in charge of this primary?
Of this election?
Yes, sir.
Under our special charter, all elections after the first, and the first was back in the 1870s, shall be held by 3 inspectors.
That's for the primaries.
To be all elections after the first.
But what's in the charter then?
That's what I'm reading, is the charter. All elections shall be held, whatever that means, by 3 inspectors to be appointed by the mayor.
May I see it, Mr. Dowdy?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now, this speaks to the primary. Now, I guess my question was, who's in charge of the primary?
Well, if you read that, in McComb's charter is unlike any other cities in the state, our special charter. If you read that, it says all elections are to be held, whatever that means, by the 3 inspectors appointed by the mayor.
Well, I see 2 parts. I see one part that addresses the primary, which it doesn't speak to who's in charge, and then another part speaks to the election inspectors, and it doesn't say who's in charge of the primary.
Well, they use the word primary elections, and then later on, they say all elections. So I don't know, Mr. Brown, I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna back up. I'm gonna back up to January the 2nd, that for the matter of record, both of these parties agreed to use scannable ballots in these precincts and electronic machine here to scan those ballots, is that correct?
I wasn't there.
No, you wasn't there. Were you on speakerphone?
No, sir.
You don't know anything about it?
I was out of town.
Is that right, Ms. Nicole?
Mhm.
That's what took place in the meeting?
That's what Ms. Trudy.
Okay, now who changed it?
Ms. Trudy said it? Ms. Trudy don't got the list of elections. That's what Trudy was saying.
But the committee voted and agreed on that, correct?
Who sent something to the city to do that? Who sent the agreement to us? No one was sent to the city. I got one today from the Republican Party, but I didn't got an agreement.
Okay, so on January the 2nd, you wasn't aware that they agreed to use
I was
the...
not aware, no, sir. When I'm aware of the letter I got on yesterday. When I got the letter yesterday, they say, talk, this letter right there is on my tree.
Okay, well, the letter yesterday, does that clear anything up? in
No,
regards to
that's what
that?
we're talking about now. We're talking Mr. Dowdy in his statement trying to get y'all an answer. I got it on yesterday. Give me a minute. I'm gonna get him an answer and I'll respond to it.
Okay, the meeting on the 2nd, the committees, the municipal executive committee, Democrat and Republican, agreed to use scannable ballots and a scanner here at City Hall after the election to count those ballots. That's what was agreed on.
With the county.
No, the municipal parties were there, not, the county was there. I'm talking about the agreement
But that
between...
meeting was Ms. Trudy. I had a meeting with him after that, and Burnett just said words.
The meeting on the 2nd, where Ms. Trudy was there, I was there, Mr. Cole was there, there's 15 different people there, and everybody agreed with what I just said, and nobody objected to that.
But Mr. Lumsden, Mr. Brock, that's the meeting at Trudy with the county. That's the same meeting where my dates got thrown off. So Trudy didn't have a copy of our charter. So having a meeting at the county don't justify my municipal election.
Well, the charter doesn't,
She didn't have it already for the following day.
the charter does not dictate who's in charge of the
But she would have a better
election.
understanding. The following day when y'all met with Ms. Trudy, I had a conversation with her about those days and read her that charter. She probably was taking through those. So she was informing y'all with not even having our charter. Not to put anything in Ms. Trudy, it's just at the time of that meeting, she didn't know what our charter said. Like right now, I do know what it said, but I'm still gonna investigate with him and her to get him a correct answer.
Yeah,
If the answer is paper ballots,
The
Mr. Brown, I have
charter,
no
the charter
problem.
does not dictate what these elected officials do.
The charter does dictate what how the election is ran. That's what I'm trying to get you an answer for. I'm trying to make sure I get a good answer from our charter and what the state says. If it says that primaries is run by you guys and you can have paper ballots, I have no
The charter
problem.
doesn't say that.
That's what I'm telling you, so that's what I'm working with the state vote. The charter addresses the state statute takes precedent. So I'm working with both to
You
get
know
you
what
an
the
answer.
state says?
That's what I'm working with Ms. Holly for, to get y'all an answer. Ms. Holly is my state person, he is my city charter
Okay,
person.
but
Between two of us, we're gonna get y'all an
Ms.
answer.
Holly, is she, I guess, advising you?
With Ms. Hart, she's an attorney for the, they run state elections.
Okay.
That's who Ms. Trudy goes through. That's who sets stuff, so if this charter does not address what you're asking me, the state charter takes precedence.
Okay.
So I'm working with Ms. Holly and Mr. Dowdy to get an answer from Mr. Simmons.
You concur, y'all concur with that?
Yes, sir. I don't disagree with it. We've got a lot more to learn.
And we working on it, I'm trying to get,
Whether
I have no problem with
that
that.
preempts everything else.
Okay, I agree. And there's nothing in here that stipulates or speaks to who's in charge of the primary. State law does.
We're gonna find out, that's what we.
The state law says it. You don't have to find.
I am gonna ask her myself.
Ms. Farmer, state
Yes, sir.
law says that.
Okay, when she gonna address it,
It
she
doesn't have
knows.
to find, you don't have to find that
I
out.
am gonna find out. She has a copy of Ernest's letter, and we're gonna get you an answer.
Well, state law dictates
When
that.
she tell me that, I'll let him know.
Okay. When Ms.
When I get an answer between the two of us, the three of us get there and get an answer, I'm gonna respond to Mr.
Mayor Rob.
letter.
No, sir.
Okay.
All right, Mayor Rob, you got the order. He's not order.
That's elected official. And we're talking about OEP.
Absolutely not.
Hold. That's the elected official, and you're here talking about elections that's coming up, primary and a general election, and you're gonna deny him the speak.
I am.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay, so, we'll move on to announcements.
That's not right, Mayor Roberts. When I
You're out of order, sir. Would you like to stay in this room or leave?
He's not out of order.
He's not, he's speaking out, he's
He's
not been
not out of
recognized by
order.
the
He's
chair.
not out
He
of
has to be
order.
recognized by the chair.
He is not out of order. You are operating on a dictatorship.
I'm on the Robert's Rules of Order that you gave him. All right, I'd like to talk about the 155th and like to adjourn.
Have a motion. I'd like to make a motion to allow our executive or chairman of the Democratic Party to speak on the behalf of our last motion.
What you'd like to do is overrule the ruling of the chair, suspend the rules.
No, I'd like to make a motion. First, there hasn't been a motion, Mayor. You just said no to a comment. I'd like to make that motion.
Suspend the rules. To suspend the rules, because I
Again.
control.
Again.
You cannot. You've been
I
asked you to
was-
suspend the, all right, suspend the rules.
Hold on, wait. You said no to a comment, not a motion. I would like to go on record to making a motion to allowing this elected official to speak. If it's a split vote or if it's turned down, then I'll make a motion to overrule the chair.
Suspend the rules, okay.
Again, Mayor,
All right. You made a motion to allow Mr. Simmons to speak, is that correct?
that's correct.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor say aye. Then you vote? Aye. All opposed, same sign.
Democracy.
The mayor votes no.
I'd like to make a motion to overrule the chair.
There's been a motion to overrule the chair, is there a second? Second. It's non-debatable, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
Hey.
The mayor votes nay. All right, get to announcements. I wanted to tell you that
Enterprise Journal, that should be on the front page, the mayor.
you're out of order,
Not
sir, you have not been
official to
recognized
speak
by the
within
chair,
a
you must be
city election.
recognized by the chair to speak, you have not been recognized.
That's
All
how
right.
they read.